Patreon. Yeah. So a little role reversal. On YouTube, they're getting the vlog, and you guys are getting the lesson. I'm switching it up this week. Anyway, I got an email from a Patreon patron talking about songs that were blues songs that had different changes. So let me pull that up. Now his name is Gary, and what he wanted was some like country blues genre, like country blues song. A song called Stay Away From Me. I don't know that one. I should have looked it up. Maybe we'll get to that later. It is in a 12-bar blues pattern. What is the subset of blues? Right, so, well, I mean, you can say it's a 1-4-5 chord change, but really the short answer is it's black American music. Heavily influenced by the gospel, large use of seventh chords, and usually a 1-4-5 pattern. But anyway, this one here is a song that comes up a lot. Key to the Highway. Little Walter did it. Everybody did it. And another one that's a lot like this is It Hurts Me Too. So this is what we call an 8-bar blues. So we're going to go over it a little bit. So I'm going to really show you how to play the root notes and some harmonies, and then just how to jam over it. So let's start with just the roots. 2 draw, 1 draw, 4 blow, again, back to 2 draw, 1 draw, back to 2 draw, 1 blow, 2 draw, 1 draw, again, follow along, little passing note, down to the blow 1, back to 2 draw, back to 1 draw. Now we're gonna go so with a little bit of spice, right? So that's just the root notes. Now I'm just putting some passing notes in. And you can do anything in there. So just hitting 2 draw right there. 1 draw or 4 draw. 1 blow, 4 blow, 1 blow, 4 blow, also 3 bend will work there. 2 draw, 1 draw or 4 draw, or both. 2 draw, 4 blow, 2 draw, 1 draw. On that last section, it's just perfectly designed for that really common turnaround that we hear like Cotton and Little Walter using. So it's just 2 draw, and then I'm kind of hitting 3 bend-ish. So 3 bend, 2 draw, 3 bend, up to 4 blow. And then doing that same alternating thing on the way down. And then 2 draw, double bend, 1 draw. So again. And there's a million different ways you can do it. Any different way you can imagine, but here it is. So that's just for the last, 2 bars here. Now in 2 bars, there's a lot happening. You got 2 different chords in each bar. So that's only 2 beats per chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's A7, D7, A7, E7. Or 2 draw, find your way to 4 blow, find your way back to 2 draw, and then find your way. So it's 3 chords, not 4 chords, but 3 chords that happen 4 times, and then find your way back to 1 draw. Okay, from the top, let's do it again. So now look, the other thing I can do is I could just, you don't have to know any of these changes, really. You could just play blues by heart over this, but it does help to know where you are. It helps to kind of come up with some cool ideas so that you can play it differently every time. But you could just play one lick over the whole thing. Let's do that, right? So I'll just play the most common lick. So I'm just bending on 4. Or now the other way. See what I mean? So I was having more fun the other way. Now you can do all kinds of stuff. You could take my major triad lesson and just put that over this, right? Let's do that. Ready? Check this out. Again. Right? So I was just playing triad, so I'll link that lesson below this, right, or the triad lesson. What's even easier than that, but that you learn from doing that, is what are all the notes that work on each thing. Now, every note on the harmonica will work over this whole thing, right, except for like 3 triple bend and some of the overblows. But any of the notes that are here or regular bends are going to be pretty much okay over any of this. You're in the key A, you're on a D harp, it's going to work out good, Patreon. It will. You'll be fine. But check it out, right? So I could pick just certain notes from each major triad. So let's do that. So on the A7 or the 1 chord, I'm going to use 3 draw. On the E7 or the 5 chord, I'm going to use 3 double bend, right? I could use 4 blow, but we'll just keep it on 3. 3 double bend. Then on the 4 chord, I'm going to use that half step 3 bend. So I'm only going to use one of the 3 bends, one of each of the 3 bends on each chord. On the 1 or the first chord, 3 draw. On the 5, the second chord of this progression, 3 double bend. It'll be tricky on a D harp, and be forgiving of yourself. You might want to try 4 blow there instead, right? But that's another thing. You can substitute different things. That's the great thing about harmony. We can pick notes that we like. One of the great things about Dennis Grinling, who doesn't overblow a lot, is he chooses really cool notes that are not overblows, but they still really relate to the chord in fun and exciting ways because he knows his harmony pretty good. Okay, so anyway, so 3 draw on 1, 3 double bend on 5, 3 half step bend on 4. So let's do that. Here we go. A little spice. See, now that first change there, I really liked when I went up to that. So I started on the major third of 1 or 3 draw. I went, and then when it got to the E7, I just climbed up to that note. So I went up chromatically from 3 draw, 4 blow, 4 draw bend to 4 draw. And it sounded like this. Ready? And then down chromatically. So you can almost do the whole thing chromatically, like with that little thing. Let's try that. Check this out. Ready? This is gonna be fun. Almost. I had it earlier. Okay, cool. Let's review. It's about an hour later, and I just did some editing on the first part. Look at my wife, Kate, not just my wife, made it so I can move my table up and down. Oh, not that high. Don't go that high. Don't go that high. I just knocked Pat off the wall. Oh boy. All right. Anyway, let's put it back down. So don't go higher than Pat. I knocked my little award off too. I got a lot of little awards, guys. And I'll tell you what, they do mean something to me. And they do help. It's nice to be appreciated. I know this was just going to be a lesson, but I can't help it. I know I'm on Patreon. It's been a hard couple weeks, guys. I've been busy, and I've been a lot going on. I've had a lot of stuff with my mental health, being a little manic, struggling. There's a lot of drama today on Facebook with Harrison harmonicas, and I ironed it out. James Gee, if you're watching, I don't think you're on Patreon actually, but a friend of mine, maybe if you are, thanks for being here. But yeah, you're on here. I know you're on here. James, if it wasn't for James, I wouldn't have had this long conversation with Brad Harrison today. Anyway, look, back to the lesson. I'm okay. All right, let's go back to the video. All right, I'm getting a little informal here. Oh, God. All right. It's just because I know it's you guys, and I just feel like natural with you. I was trying to make this a fancy.
Welcome, Autumn.
Trying to make this a fancy video, like edited, like just like it is on YouTube, and like, I was doing fine up until now, up until I raised the table up, and then I got real wishy. So look, here's what I want to say. You can use some of what I'm talking about and then just go and do your other stuff too. So like if you already have like blues licks and you normally just play blues licks and you can only remember that A7 equals 2 draw on a D harp, right? On any second position harp. But I mean, the first chord, the 1 chord, right? That's what I mean. Not A7 would always be the same one. On 1, if you can just remember 2 draw, or if you just remember that when it goes to the 4, you use 4 bow. If that's all you get, you can still mix in your own stuff and just do one of the things I'm saying. All I'm doing is guiding you towards the right thing. Patreon. Okay, so I'm making this lesson and I'm sitting here thinking, God, so many of you guys are so good, and I feel like sometimes when I'm making lessons, I'm like, is this lesson too easy? Or then I double back and I think, when I'm making a hard one, is this too cerebral? And it's like hard to like sometimes figure out what the best thing to do is. But I know you can't please everybody all the time. But the other thing I know is that even if you've been doing this stuff a while, maybe there's something cool that you're getting out of this. I know Philippe Gers watches these, watches the Patreon vlogs anyway. And so like, when I think about a guy like that, he's like pretty much my favorite harmonica player in the world. Watching these videos, I'm like, holy cats, man, I gotta step it up a notch. But maybe Philippe gets something out of it. Okay, so anyway, so like on that last section when I talked about using the harmonies, the 3 draw bends, all the 3 different bends, right? You can also use root notes with those harmonies. So you can take the first part of the lesson and then mix it with the second. And you can use both the root and the harmony, or another harmony that you know from studying triads or 7th chords or 6th chords or anything else that I've presented in all of these videos about arpeggiating, right? You can use all of those, or just one of them, or just 2 of them, or 3 or 4, right? So it's all up to you how much work you want to put into it and how busy you want to make it sound. Now keep in mind that every one of these chords is a 7th chord. So if you study 7th chords and go check my 7th chord video linked below, you will find out what the 7 of 1 is. You will find out what the 7 of 4 is, and you'll find out what the 7 of 5 is. But let's talk about that. So the 7 of 1, here's a good trick to remember. A flatted 7 is always a whole step below its root. It took me years to figure that out. I don't know why, but it was just... So the flatted 7 of the 1 chord, or down from 2 draw, is 2 double bend. And then the flatted 7 of the next chord, E7, the 5, is a whole step down. Right there, 4 below. The flatted 7 of 4 itself is 3 half-step bend. Right there. So I can use those notes to great effect on every chord, because not only are they the flatted 7, but they're bluesy. They sound really bluesy. So let's do one of those kind of exercises. So let's do the root and 7 of each chord. And I'll put up a little cool thing here that shows you the root and 7 of a 1-4-5. It'll be a standard 12-bar 1-4-5, but you'll know what I mean. Ready? Here we go. So what is all this fancy 7th chord stuff? Fancy major triad, 7th chord, 6th chord arpeggios. It's too much. I can't handle it. No, look, it just a little bite at a time. Just a little bite at a time. If you don't understand it now, I promise you, just hang out with me and hang out with other guys. In 6 months' time, a year's time, you'll be turning to your bass player and going, well, it's just the 7 of 1, right? And like you'll be like, why? How did that even happen to me? You'll just learn the language. It's a musical language, okay? But if you have trouble, definitely go visit my videos, right? A lot of times we have to do before we understand. And I always put the tab there for you so that you can do instead of just trying to figure it out before you do it. I just show you it, and then later you can put a name to what you're already doing. One of the things that I've been struggling with lately as a teacher is I've been thinking, man, I need to focus more on telling people to just listen to Little Walter, hold the harmonica right, get good tone, tongue block, lip purse when appropriate, right? But tongue block, get the big tones, get the sounds. How did I come up listening to James Cotton, listening to Little Walter, listening to all of these guys? And then later I put names to that stuff. When I started getting jobs as a working musician, it became necessary for me to learn this language. I didn't want to. I was kicking and screaming. It was a bass player named Jason Rosner who was so patient with me that he taught me the Nashville numbering system. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the major scale. Or in first position. Man, I'm off today. All right, listen, Key to the Highway. Check it out. Have some fun with it. And this is going out to my man, Gary. I can't remember your last name. It was long. He sent me a nice tip on PayPal, dude. Bro, that helps, man. It really helps. The next video coming up, it won't be a free Friday. It'll be a regular, just middle of the week drop. Will be my pedal board video. This room is trashed. Let me tell you what. And it's been trashed. I haven't been able to clean it because I know I'm gonna mess it up again when I do the pedal board. I've been putting this thing together and taking it apart and putting it back together and ordering new things and doing that. I've spent way too much money on it. Even though I get most of the pedals for free, most of them, I've been spending money on cables and Velcro and little bells and whistles and risers and knobs and all kinds of dumb stuff. But I'm going to try to write it off of my taxes, which I can next year if I do my taxes. That's a whole other story. I'm a mess right now. I'm sober, I'm happy, and I'm blessed to have you, my Patreon family, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I have so many wonderful people in my life that I can lean on. I'm just a crazy cat. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Jason Ricci's YouTube channel. 16 years of incredible YouTube harmonica-related content. That's right, 16 years. At this point, over 500 free instructional videos. If you're interested in what kind of harmonicas I play, microphones, amplifiers, pedals, any harmonica-related products, please check out my sponsors. These sponsors, in one way or another, also help keep these videos going. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Blue Moon Harmonicas, bringing you the best in custom harmonicas. We got custom cover plates, custom combs. You can get your name put on it, just like me. Reed work, refurbished pre-war Marine bands. Look at that, they put the little brace there, no more crushing the covers. The Lone Wolf Blues Company. Very best in pedals, microphones, almost anything you need for your amplified harmonica need. The Lone Wolf Blues Company, right here out of Ponchatoula, Louisiana. We got you. Harp gear, amplifiers. They got big ones, they got small ones. You know what they sound like? They sound like the best tube amps on the market. Harp gear amplifiers out of Ocala, Florida. Pedal pad, pedal boards. Incredible custom pedal boards built to last, made by two brothers who really, really care. Hohner harmonicas. A Mooncat loves the Hohner harmonica. I like the Marine Band. I get Tom to put the little special 20 cover plates on it. He tricks them out, but they play great right out of the box. All of these sponsors are linked below in the description box. What else is linked below? Patreon. Consider becoming a Patreon patron. You'll be supporting me. You'll be supporting the cause. You'll be keeping these videos free for everybody. And you'll get a lot of extra content over at Patreon. You'll get vlogs, occasionally some extra lessons, some posts that you might not see on Facebook. A lot of stuff that I can't say or won't say here on YouTube is over on Patreon. I love my Patreon family. You guys are the best. If you're not into the monthly subscription, you can also give me a one-time tip at Venmo or PayPal below too. I'm a touring musician and I play all over the country, really all over the world with all kinds of different acts. Check out my website, www.mooncat.org. In all seriousness, YouTube, Patreon, my sponsors have absolutely changed my life. Subscribe below, set reminders for the videos. Don't miss any events. Every single Friday there's a free harmonica lesson and a lot more. Even if you're just subscribing, you're helping me a lot. Those of you that are joining me on Patreon, you guys are helping me to make better decisions with my career. In all sincerity, thank you so much, YouTube, for just an incredible, incredible outlet. It's a video diary. I get to look back at 16 years of these videos. Met a lot of new friends, some really fine musicians, made some great contacts in the industry, and it's all because of you. Thank you, my harmonica family.